Way back in 1997, a raid on the Munich apartment of a Turkish art dealer named Aydin Dickman, German police discovered a haul of looted religious treasures. The cache of 173 items included centuries-old church icons, frescoes and mosaics, which had been looted from the Orthodox and Maronite Christian churches in northern Cyprus over 20 years prior to the Turkish invasion, which caused the island to become ethnically split. The churches from which the property was taken are still in disputed territory. However, more than 40 years after the original theft, the loot has been officially repatriated to the island nation in an official ceremony. Many of the items suffered damage during the theft and will now undergo restoration before being put on display at the Byzantine Museum in the capital city of Nicosia. The Archbishop of Cyprus, Chrysostomos II, hopes to eventually return the artefacts to the churches from which they were looted, if an armistice can ever be reached. In the 1940s, an excavation near a monument erected in proximity to St. Peter's Basilica unearthed several fragments of bone which have since come to be considered holy relics of the man to be the first Catholic Pope. The remains were subjected to scientific testing in the early 60s, after which in 1968 Pope Paul VI said the pieces had been identified in a way which we can hold to be convincing. How that could be possible given that Peter had no genetic relatives and there are no extant descriptions of his skeleton was not explained. Still, the faithful accept the Church's word that the fragments are in fact the bodily remains of the martyred Pope. So it was with much excitement that Archbishop Rino Fisichella, president of the Pontifical Council for Promoting New Evangelization, announced in the Vatican's official newspaper, L'Osservatore Romano, that to culminate what they are calling the Year of Faith will be the exposition for the first time of the relics, traditionally recognized as those of the apostle who gave his life for the Lord here. It has been over a dozen years since the American-led invasion of Afghanistan removed the Taliban from power with the purpose of bringing peace and freedom and an end to the reign of terror. Since then, too much has changed according to the last Jew in the country. 50-year-old Zabulon Zimentov is the last known Jew living in Afghanistan. The country's extremely conservative views force him to move discreetly and avoid the attention to protect his small, run-down cafe. Since the Americans left, things have gone downhill. Hotels used to order food for 400 to 500 people. 4 or 5 stoves were busy from afternoon to evening. His cafe now faces foreclosure since his kebabs are not selling because Muslims don't buy many kebabs. Sadly, it is worse than that. The lack of security has made most people too afraid to go out to eat or visit a cafe. As the last remaining Jew in the country, he has gained a certain degree of celebrity status, but it is pale compared to the hardship of losing one's business and home. Siminitov's family and friends have long since moved away. There are no Afghan Christians left either. That is, none that are out in the open. The only permanent church that's left is one located inside the Italian diplomatic compound. On the other hand, there are no shortages of mosques. Simintov is bitter and angry by what he sees as the failure of US-led NATO forces to bring peace and security to the country without the Taliban. He said that it is better to see a dog than to see an American. If the situation in the country gets any worse, I will escape. I plan to close my restaurant next March and rent the space.